Where's he been? Where's he been all this time? I needed him.
Hello, everybody. John Boyle, you want to get us going?
Sure. Pete, what'd you see from the defense in terms of the improvements? And that was a season low in yards for the Chiefs, and just seemed to be a lot of good things for you guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. It was obvious. We held them down pretty well. Third downs and explosions and just total yards, and it was a good all around day for us on defense where we had a chance to be in this ball game. We needed to score some points to make it happen, but the guys played well and did a good job of containing the top offense in the league.
Anything in particular that's led to that?
I think we matched up well, and things fit well. The guys carried over, that we executed well. Didn't have a lot of busts. There was a couple plays when our tackling wasn't good, but overall our tackling wasn't bad in this game, and so that all helps.
Jen?
There were some injury updates that you had a little bit of information on early today. Do you have more on Abe Lucas, Will Dissly, and a couple of those guys?
Not really. Just that we'll go through tomorrow and see how everything goes. But we got banged up a little bit, and we got to see how these guys respond and if they come back. Also, we're concerned about the guys that missed, Ryan and Al and of course Locke. We'll have to see how those guys do. I don't have a bunch of updates for you.
Okay, thanks.
I'm just watching Tyler run over here. That's why I'm looking over here. He's running, so I just let you know.
Maddie,
you can give us the update on that.
He looks great. It's his hand, though, Right.
Thanks, Jen. Maddie F. Brown?
Yeah, hi, Pete. Has
Welcome
the change
back.
in the defensive language... I am back, yes. Thank you. Has the change in the defensive language...
There's a lot of us that would like to say that at times, that we're back, It's a big statement, really. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Has the change in the defensive language that came with the new system made adjusting to the defense a more difficult challenge for you personally, like adjusting the defense in season? Because from the outside, it seems like it would be a big deal working in this new language after so many of your years in the Monte Kiffin style and structure of defensive language.
There's been some learning, yeah. There has been some adapting and expansive kind of stuff that I had to adjust with, yeah. There was a little bit of that.
Did you find that refreshing as well?
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
is it the first time this has happened in your career?
No.
You've moved from...
No, whenever new guys come on, or you have changes. Remember that we lost Dan Quinn and lost our guys over the years. Things change, and so Gus had a whole mentality to himself that was unique to him. I'm always trying to help them use their stuff so that they feel really good about it and let me do the learning, and it's not the other way around.
Corbin?
Pete, you guys were able to get the run game going quite a bit in the second half of the game on Saturday, but the Chiefs still had 5 tackles for loss in the backfield against the run game, and it seems like that's been a consistent problem here the last 5 or 6 games. What are you seeing in terms of those negative plays and how they're impacting the rest of your drives, the inability to sustain drives?
Yeah, well, it was really good to see him go away. We played really good in the second half at the line of scrimmage, and there has been, at times, a guy gets beat or there's a stunt that happens that gives them the chance. It has been a problem, though. You're right, and it has been an issue for me in particular that we're allowing penetration that wasn't happening at other times earlier in the year. But we feel pretty good about it, and in making some progress again this week. First half, though, there was 2 or 3 plays that got away from us.
At the safety position, you got your first extended look at Jonathan Abram. He had that really nice play on Kelsey. What did you think, going back and looking at the film, the plays that he had out there on Saturday?
He didn't have that many opportunities. There was just a few, and he shared them with Tabor, and and with Q. So, but the plays that he had a chance to make, he did well, and he looked more familiar. He's doing a lot of things in the system already, so he still is taxed some, playing safety and playing the dime spot and playing at nickel, and he's got a lot of things that he's learning. But I saw him after the meetings today, and he felt pretty good about it and felt more confident. It's important for him to continue to grow with our communications, so guys around him are sure what he knows, and what's going on and the adjustments and all of that. That's going to continue to be an area of importance here as we're closing out. So we gotta. That's what he's focusing on. He can play the plays. He can make the plays.
Thanks.
Masvita.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, just going back to the run game, what changed from the first half to the second where you're more successful? Was there a scheme change, or is it just this is what it looks like when you stick with the run and are patient with it?
No, Mas, I think that's really what happened, because I in particular showed some clips, in our team meeting today to demonstrate how much better we played in the second half. We turned the running game around, and the line of scrimmage really it just changed. It was the same guys, doing blocking pretty much. Stone got a chance to play and contributed, but. It's sticking to it. We ran the ball 11 times in the first half and 20 times in the second half. And we were just way more productive and explosive. And I think Ken had something to do with that as well. Ken hitting the line of scrimmage a little more consistently in the second half helped us.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete, just to clarify on Tyler, is there still a chance he can play this week, or do you know enough yet to know that? Or
I don't know that yet. I know what he wants to do. He wants to play, and so we'll see. I could ask him. I have to yell because he's way across the other side of the field.
But he still. I mean, can you? He has to go through some further tests, or what does he have to? I guess is there a process he's got to go through now, or how does that?
Yeah, he needs to find out is he comfortable with being able to catch the football and hang on to it and all that kind of stuff. And he hasn't been throwing catching a lot of balls from Gino in the last week, so it's going to be a little bit different. He's going to be in good shape. He's going to be ready to run. He'll be able to do everything. It's just whether how he handles the football, and we won't know until we get there, until Wednesday starts and the process will be underway.
And is Marquise okay? And then how did you feel about, I guess, how the receiving core was without Tyler on Saturday?
Yeah, Marquise he banged his wrist on a play he went to the ground on, and he's got a couple things that he's nursing. That's been bothering him for some time. So he just kind of he banged it, and then it had to kind of quiet down, which it did. He's been able to be very responsive, and come back from things. So I would imagine he'll have a good chance to do that. In terms of playing with the receiver group without Tyler, I thought I said it pretty frankly that you can't replace him. He's too special. He's too unique. So you have to utilize the strengths that other guys bring, and see how that goes. We certainly missed him on third downs. He's such a key guy, and he and Gino are so hooked up, and that we missed him. And he's made a lot of crucial third down conversions for us, under duress, late in the game, late in the downs, fourth downs, all kinds of stuff that we would have loved to have had in that game.
Michael Sean?
Hey, Pete, one more on Tyler. Do you need him to practice before he can play? Or does he a guy you can just throw in there without reps?
He does not need to necessarily practice. I mean, if anybody could go through the game plan and the walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff, because he won't miss any of that. He can run around. The question will be what it feels like to catch the football and hang on to it. So and I'm sure we're gonna take all the time that we can. So we might not know that answer till way late in the week, but he'll be ready to go otherwise as far as the game plan.
And one more real quick. You said on the radio today you were talking about the whole thing fitting around the quarterback, essentially complementary football. As you look at these last 5 or 6 or whatever it is, would you say that is the biggest reason for the losses? And if so, how does that change in these final 2 weeks?
No, it feels like an observation more than the reason. It feels like we haven't played when we need to come through to make the play for the other side of the ball. Or take the ball off him. It's really that really lends itself to making the turnovers, and we've really gone quiet here for a bit, and we've got to keep getting the football. And we had a stretch of 5 or 6 weeks. We'd had 2 turnovers for a long time, and it's gone quiet a little bit. That's part of what contributes to that observation that it's not happening. So, but it's something It's kind of nebulous. I think it's a nebulous way of saying, that what's going on. But that's what it feels like. We're not playing connected to help one another out and take advantage of a terrific day of defense. We weren't able to do that, and so.
Thank you.
Can anybody spell nebulous? I know Bob can.
Tim?
That's why God invented spell check.
Yeah.
What 2 of 14 on third down? I know you just mentioned Tyler not being out there, but and a lot of those were third and 7+. What did you feel like were the issues behind staying on the field on third downs?
The issue was all about first and second down. Really, it's making those situations shorter, so that they're more facilitate converting. And when you're third and 10s, 6 of them or something were third and 10 or more, and that's just asking a lot. Let's look at the odds around the league. What does it take to convert? It's hard, and the numbers go totally in favor of the defense. So that's why execution, early downs, run the football. In the second half, it should have helped us because we did move the ball, running the football, and that's we're trying to get to that. And then we got to use the guys, and use our guys well, and make sure that our guys make their plays. And that's why it comes down to specifics of a guy who's a player like Tyler. We really build a lot of stuff around what he's capable of doing and how he reads things and makes the most of opportunities.
And then just to clarify on the 2 guys who you said were off having MRIs done this morning on Will and Abe, are you of the opinion right now that they might not be available for this week?
I don't know that yet. Like I said, I don't have any updates for you. It's too early to tell. Sorry.
Right. Thanks.
Greg?
Pete, at halftime in Kansas City, how did you challenge the offensive line that you mentioned?
Just in being really pretty straightforward, pretty direct, that we're going to get back in this game by running football, and let's go. And it's on everybody, and we got to call it, we got to run it. Ken had something, I said, talk to Ken too about that, to give us a little different rhythm hitting the line of scrimmage, and he totally did it, and I think the combination, everybody just started clicking.
Is that the first time you've done this
No.
season?
No, it's happened a couple other times.
And is it just a gut response by an offensive line to be more physical? Is it that simple?
I don't know that they were any more physical, because I went back and looked at a couple other plays in the first half. We knocked in the second half. There's a handful of plays, 5 or 6 plays. We make 3 yards, or make 2 or 3, 4 yards right in there that are really important. That you're making positive yards, and we weren't, as one of you guys pointed out, we weren't taking negatives. We weren't taking losses, and that was all part of it. Again, I of course it goes. The obvious is to challenge the offensive line. You think that's where it goes, but it went to the running backs and the tight ends as well, and blocking downfield. That's terrific work on the perimeter. Derek Young in particular, and a couple of fellas. DK had a couple blocks too that really made a difference and made some extra yards for us. So it's all connected. It's not as easy as just yell at them and then they're going to do good. That's not how it goes.
Right. Do you have any evidence it's sustainable rather than having to?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got the evidence. That's what I showed them on film. I made sure that we all saw it, and we it's undeniable. What we're capable of being like.
Thank you.
Sure.
Matty up, Brown?
It looks like the nickel 4-down front run fits have improved in the last 2 weeks. How much of that scheme, like finding the right blend of calls, running more one high defense, continuing to adapt your guys, compared to just the players finding, more familiarity and comfort with what you're asking them to do?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about some of that off camera, but it's a combination. It's not as easy as we went single high stuff and all of a sudden we stop them. That's not like that. You still got to play the blocks, and you got to disengage, and you got to fit together, and you got to fall back like you need to, and all of the things that you have to do. So. And sometimes the connection just seems really clear, and we can count on it. And that's that happened.
John?
Yeah, the deep ball, the deep post that Tariq was able to catch up to and break up. I know he's had a bunch of
the one he baited him into.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I mean, the things he's doing. How much do you still kind of marvel at some of the physical ability when he makes a play like that?
No, that was a really good illustration of that. I mean, the distance that he makes up in the last 20 yards to make that play, and he got his hand on the ball too. It's just another remarkable play. There's quite a few of them during the course of the year. That's why he's been recognized as as he has as a Pro Bowl guy. He's just made a ton of plays, and there's so many more out there for him too, which is just what's so exciting about it. That can't wait to see what he's going to do next.
Brady?
What was he really baiting him on that throw?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Abe
Lucas,
that
could be considered a light moment.
Okay, I got you.
I would think.
Abe Lucas, how do you feel like he was playing before he left the game?
He was doing all right. He was battling. Yeah, I mean he's playing a little bit banged up, and he's trying to find out how to do that. He has never even wavered to take on the challenge, and I don't know that has anything to do with anything, but he's doing fine, and I would have liked to see him part of the second half. The kind of the rising that we saw in the second half, but it was great to see. Stone did a great job to come in off the bench and jump in there, make some key blocks to help us.
And with Ken, you said on the radio that you were pretty direct with him at halftime and telling him what did you tell him, and what did you feel like he wasn't doing? And have you seen? Sorry, this is a loaded question, but are you seeing that he is sometimes maybe looking for big cutback lanes to try to make a big play?
He's just growing. He's grown. He's an incredible player, and we have to allow him to be instinctive, and we have to, or you're going to make him like everybody else, And so we have to find the fine line, and then we have to coach him too. We have to help him, and so we felt like it was worth. Let's see if we can get a little bit more direct approach to hitting the line of scrimmage, and see what. It felt like that's the change we needed. Like he might be looking a bit, and he is that kind of player. I mean, he's a guy. He's looking for a big play. Look at the toss that he takes off to the right, comes all the way back out the back door. That's an extraordinary play, and vision and instinct and savvy and all that stuff comes into play on that. And I don't want to take that away from him. We felt like that it would be important for him, to hit it, and let's knock that line of scrimmage in the other direction, and then we'll take what we get. And it seemed a little bit like it had a little bit of a factor.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.